Next event on the track, the women's 4x400 relay. 3 sections of this event. Remember, there are 16 total teams in the SEC, and there's a lot of athletes and a lot of teams contesting these events. 12 total in the 4x4. Arkansas with a meet record from 2 years ago, and Georgia has the fastest time run this year. Expect that to be improved upon by several teams. There are the women of Troy. They will start in lane number 5 in this first section. They're seated based on their times coming in. And slated to lead off, Yemi John. There she is on her name on her number. Florida State Seminoles. They will start out of lane number 4. Leah Green will do leadoff duty.
Well, Yemi John for USC. She was an Olympian this year, competed for Team GB. Saw her in the mixed relay as they stand them up.
So like the 200 and 400, the race can be won and the 10 points given to any team from any section. We saw Oregon's women a number of years back in the first section win the overall title. They just improved upon their season best time so much, and no one was able to run faster. So it has been done. From the inside, it's Texas, then Florida State, Southern Cal, and then Harvard on the outside. They will stay on their lanes through 2 turns and then break for the pole. And for Harvard, that is Chloe Fair on leadoff, and for Texas, Lauren Lewis. And Lewis manages to get that front spot off the break.
Well, Lauren Lewis, just a sophomore for Texas, and when you look at the Texas roster this whole indoor season, a lot of freshmen, a lot of sophomores. They're a little bit of a rebuilding. You come off of a team with Julian Alfred and Adelike, Rashida Adelike, and you got to rebuild a little bit. It's going to take Texas a couple of years, but watch these young ladies compete at a higher level next year and the year after.
USC passes first, and a nice little gap to start the second leg. That is Dasani Carter for the women of Troy. And for Texas, Akala Garrett. Harvard is third with Izzy Gudros.
Good start for the Texas Longhorns. Lauren Lewis, 52.5 on that opening leg. And here she passes to Akala Garrett, who has run 52.2 as a personal best.
Oregon does not have a 4x400 relay in the meet. But Georgia, USC, Texas A&M, and Arkansas all do, and how that all sifts out could determine who ends up as the runner-up on the team title. So Texas closed the gap nicely on that second leg. Third leg, Christine Mallard of USC with third leg carry for the Trojans. And for Texas, it is Holly Okuku, the freshman, for the Longhorns.
Well, good run for Akala Garrett. They're 50.8. He brought the Longhorns back just a little bit.
On paper, USC is the better team by 0.03 of a second coming in over Florida State. Florida State well back. And now USC really widening the gap over Texas as they get ready to hand off to the anchor. And for USC, it'll be Madison White. She was 5th in the 200 earlier. And for Texas, this is Ramia Elliott.
Harvard with both their 800-meter runners back off of the final to run those third and fourth legs. It's Victoria Bossong from that runner-up finish in the 800, now anchoring for Harvard.
Over that third leg for USC, Christine Mallard, 51-8. So the Trojans putting in some really good work here in the first heat of the 4x4.
Their season best time, 3:29.97 at the conference meet 2 weeks ago. They have a faster time on a larger track. Every 100th of a second counts. The women of Troy are going to win Section 1 and establish the time to beat. And they improve mightily on their season best with a school record, 3:26.97 officially. So USC having a pretty good NCAA indoor meet here in Virginia Beach. 52-1 on the anchor for Madison White. 200 meters was not contested that long ago.
Well, in the relay events, only 12 teams get invited. 16 individuals go into individual events, but 12 teams. It's such an honor to run a time fast enough to just get invited here, to just get to come here to the NCAA championships. So whether you're in the fast, you call it the fast, or you're in the first heat, second heat, or the third heat, you got an opportunity just to go out there and do your best. There we see a little bit of a collision, and that happens in the 4x4.
Yeah, it's a little collision. That was a lot of collision.
More often than you think.
That was the reason why Florida State was so far back. The incoming runner has to get out of the way, get off the track, clear yourself. And that was not done. And I wouldn't be surprised if there would be a yellow card for that. But it was all USC in that first section. School record for the women of Troy, 3:26.97. That's the time that Section 2 and Section 3 teams will be aiming at. There are the official results. In Section 2 with the Texas A&M Aggies starting in lane number 5. That's Cameron Dixon, who will do leadoff duty for them. They come home at the time of 3:28.43. And the Bruins of UCLA, third at the Big Ten Indoor. They will be in lane number 4. They come in with a 3:28.60 at altitude. That's a meet that they ran in Albuquerque about a month ago. There are the lane assignments. University of Central Florida in 3, UCLA, A&M, and then Kentucky.
Well, congratulations to Joanna Hayes, new head coach at UCLA. She didn't bring a lot of people to these championships. She's slowly putting this team together. She brought a handful, and nice to see her tromping around. She gets to see her former Trojans do really well here, and now she's got a team of her own, and I guarantee in a couple years' time she'll be bringing a much larger group.
Well, she ran for UCLA, coached at USC, and is now back at UCLA. And we don't forget that Joanna Hayes, Olympic champion in the 100-meter hurdles from way back at the Athens Olympic Games, I believe, if my memory serves. Let's see who gets the pole here. There's going to be a contest for it, and it goes to UCF. And that is Kaya Williams, the senior, who gets that front position. Cameron Dixon having to go wide, trying to make a pass on the backstretch for A&M. Kentucky making a move. But it looks like UCF will pass first, even though Kentucky doing a nice job catching up. That was Hannah Douglas for the Wildcats. For UCF on the second carry, this is Jasmine Newberry. And for A&M, Jasmine Montgomery is running her Aggies into second place.
Well, Kia Williams ran 52.7 for Central Florida on that first leg.
For Kentucky, it is Shael Johnson, and for the Bruins, Taylor Snare. But it's still UCF in the lead. And they come in with the slowest seed time into this Section 2 4x400 meter relay final. Second exchange, UCF continuing to lead. A&M second, Kentucky third, UCLA fourth. For UCF, this is Twinese Johnson. For A&M, Latasha Smith. For UCLA, making the move, Kayla McBride, the freshman.
Well, and somebody better tell that freshman. Oh, and she just dropped the baton, got in a little bit of a hand exchange. I was going to say, you got to move into the inside, create a little space for yourself, move to the inside. But UCLA is out.
And for Kentucky, that is Stacy Anjapanuka, the freshman. It was all UCF so far, with A&M in pursuit as they get ready to pass the baton for the final time. Latasha Smith doing a good job getting A&M up there, but UCF still passes first. Central Florida, Texas A&M, Kentucky. For Central Florida, this is Deja Shaw Huckabee, the sophomore. For A&M, Jermisha Arnold, the senior. And for Kentucky, Onika McAnuff. A&M into the lead. There's another quick look at the drop baton. Excuse me, I thought that was what that was. Back to the race. Laughter. Texas A&M in front. Jermisha Arnold wresting the lead from UCF. Kentucky now challenging for second. Remember the time to beat, 3:26.97, established by USC in Section 1. And they did not manage it. In fact, they didn't manage it by a long way. 3:30.07. Everybody running slower than they did as their seed time coming in to this championship.
Well, Jermisha Arnold, Texas A&M Aggies, they go with the most experienced athlete on the anchor leg there. There you see UCLA finishing up. A little bit of a debacle there, too. UCLA dropped that baton. And then that third runner waited a long time to pick it up. An official actually picked it up, and they were taking it off the track. And she said, no, I wanted to finish the race. There you see Kayla McBride. She's just not being very, very safe with that baton. Look how easy it was. Just that easy. Hit somebody else's hand, hit somebody else's arm, and you drop the baton. You've got to hold on to that thing for dear life. And here you see Jermisha Arnold bringing it home for the Aggies.
So Texas A&M posting the second fastest time so far run. USC in the lead, Texas A&M second with 3:30.06. That was their winning time. And then Kentucky at 3:30.59. Section 3 of the women's 4x400 relay. There are the meet and NCAA leads. Arkansas with the meet record. There is Joanne Reed. She will lead off for the Razorbacks. They had a tough meet here, but they can redeem themselves and run well in the 4x400. Then Georgia Bulldogs, same thing. Both of these teams can run their teams into a runner-up position behind Oregon. Oregon has clinched the team title. They do not have a 4x400 relay in the meet, but this should be a great race between the Razorbacks and the Bulldogs. They have the two fastest times coming in.
Dejanay Oakley of Georgia there. She's had a fantastic meet. Got through the finals in that 400 meters. But when I look at the times, we got to keep an eye on the time. 3:26.97. There's only one team with a season best here better than that, and that's the Georgia Bulldogs.
South Carolina on the outside. They're the defending champions. Runners up at the conference 2 weeks ago. Tennessee on the inside, then Arkansas, Georgia, and South Carolina on the outside.
Well, we're going to see stars from each team. Arkansas, Georgia, and South Carolina. We'll see Jamisha Ford running that third leg. Isabella Whitaker will anchor Arkansas, and Aaliyah Butler will anchor for Georgia.
It's Dejanay Oakley for Georgia on the leadoff for the Bulldogs. She was third in the 400, and it's a crash. Georgia leading over Arkansas. And that was South Carolina that went down.
Well, that was Zaya
Ikens.
And she went down hard and she got up, but she is definitely about 75 meters back. Showed a lot of toughness just to get up, but that was a hard fall.
Georgia passes first. For the Bulldogs, this is Michelle Smith on the second leg, and Scenaria Butler for Arkansas. For Tennessee, Brianna White. And for South Carolina, it's well back now. Sylvia Shalengat will be the second runner for the Gamecocks. Georgia, the collegiate leaders coming into these championships. Remember, the time to beat posted in Section 1 by the USC Trojans, 3:26.97. That's a school record for the women of Troy. Arkansas now starting to close the gap. Scenaria Butler doing a fine job getting the Hogs back in it. Georgia passes first, though. Haley Tate for the Bulldogs, and Kaylin Brown for Arkansas.
Low 52s and high 51s there for those last two legs for Georgia and Arkansas. This is Kaylin Brown. Said she's been running better. Let's see if she opens things up here on this second lap. There she goes.
Arkansas into the lead. For Tennessee, this is Esther Joseph keeping it close for the Volunteers. Jamisha Ford is doing the best she can for South Carolina after that crash and fall. She was third in the 200, first 200 she's ever lost. Final handoff, and it's the new American and collegiate record holder in the indoor 400, second fastest time ever run. Bella Whitaker on anchor for Arkansas.
And look who's stalking her. That's Aaliyah Butler, who was second in the open 400 meters to Bella Whitaker.
And for Tennessee, Javanya Valcourt is keeping it close. One more lap for Bella Whitaker. Again, the time to beat, 3:26.97. That's faster than Arkansas has run this year. It's just too much room to make up for Aaliyah Butler to the American record holder. Arkansas will win it, and they do run fast enough to take the title. 3:25.21. And that's more than 2 seconds faster than the seed time they came into these championships with. So a fine performance by Arkansas, and that will catapult them up the leaderboard. Again, Oregon has clinched. Here's the fall that we saw. South Carolina. It's actually Tennessee gets a little tied up with Arkansas. And then South Carolina, the momentum just carries her forward. She can't get out of the way. So then there were three in contention. Georgia passed first, with Arkansas well behind at this point. Tightened it up on that third leg.
Well, you wonder why we didn't see a little better seed time from Arkansas. They really shuffled their lineup a lot during this indoor season. There was even a Rachel Glenn 4x4 sighting early in this indoor season. But this is the foursome that they got right. And this gives Arkansas their season best times. There you see Bella Whitaker. Really, this is a victory lap for her. She won the open 400 meters, and she brings the Hogs home in the 4x4. Fantastic meet for her. Got exactly what she wanted as she came into Arkansas and want to be part of a fantastic squad. There's Kaylin Browner in an outstanding third leg.
Third 4x400 title for Arkansas in the last 4 years. They win it with 3:25.20. Georgia does end up second. USC, who posted the time from Section 1, ends up third overall in the 4x4 relay.